Carnival does me hot and spicy when Calypso is there. Carnival.
Baby?
Say it again, I love that.
No, I love that. Say it again.
Carnival does me hot and spicy when Calypso is there. Carnival does me bright and gay. Carnival does me sweet and jumpy when the bandmen appear. Everybody jumping away. They will jump and whine and call for more. Jumping up to the sweet tempo. All the while the officials breaking in. Trouble is the bandmen and the Calypsonian. Scranting after Carnival done. And yet still we keep on jamming. Every year we come out playing Calypsonian and the bandman, east, west, north and south. From every part of this island we make our contribution. Don't leave us out. Remember we are the ones who make you jump, who make you jump up and prance. We're in the middle of the carnival. We are the ones keep up the bacchanal. We are the ones who make you jump, make you jump up and prance. Working to make this fun and spring. Greatest summer festivity and yet we treated Calypsonians and bandmen like dirt.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And first up, Happy New Year. It's going to be an awesome 2019 with all its challenges and all its promises. It's going to be a beautiful year. And so let's embrace it with all that it has to offer. And just my favorite word from last year was awesome. I'm going to change it. But for today, let us make it an awesome year. This afternoon, we are going to have, our usual little pleasantries, but we're going to defer them for a moment because we have very important guests with us this afternoon. And our guests come to us via a directive. Yes, I'm going to say a directive because when Her Excellency speaks, everybody listens. You learn that, huh? And so, via the orders of Her Excellency Ambassador Karen Mayhill, we have an initiative that is being introduced into Antigua this year. It's the Commonwealth International Composition Prize. Got it correct? Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm just going to read a little blurb and then I will introduce our panel. The High Commission is pleased to share that Alison Cox, OBE, founder and chair of trustees of the Commonwealth Accredited Organization, the Commonwealth Resounds, and head of composition at the Purcell School for Young Musicians, will be in Antigua from the 1st to the 8th of January 2019 to launch the Commonwealth International Composition Prize. The Commonwealth Resounds is working with the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music, the ABRSM, and the Antigua and Barbuda Youth Symphony Orchestra to pilot this award in 4 countries, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Rwanda, Sri Lanka, and New Zealand. These 4 countries will be asked to create a first-rate composition training program for young people of school or college age, which will be promoted and celebrated on an international website and in the Commonwealth cultural circles. Alison will meet with music teachers and students to share with them features of this program and how they can become involved. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are rushing into this afternoon, the very important cultural initiative that will impact on our youth. And so, without further ado, let me introduce my esteemed panel. I know one very well-ish. I know one from a distance-ish. I've seen her work. And, of course, let me begin with Miss Cox. Good afternoon, ma'am, and how are you?
Good afternoon, Petra. I'm very well, thank you.
And welcome to Antigua.
I am absolutely delighted to be in Antigua. This is the first time I've ever been to this beautiful country.
Really?
And yes, and it's an
Not the
absolute
last time.
pleasure.
Clearly not the last.
Certainly not the last. I'm
Now,
hoping to come back.
Before we get to the most important matter at hand, there are a few questions I have to ask. Very important questions. Have you been to the beaches yet?
I have been to the
Oh,
beach.
okay, beautiful.
I've swum 3 times already. I only arrived here yesterday at 4 p.m. and I've swum 3 times.
I will ask you no further questions then about Antigua. We will get to the matter at hand. And for my guests, just allow me just to say a little bit about Alison, or you want to introduce yourself?
I don't mind. I'd much rather you introduce me. Pete.
Okay, beautiful. So Alison Cox has developed a number of national and international links with increasing numbers of professional ensembles and organizations, including the UNESCO, sorry, I don't have my glasses, the Nash Ensemble, the Royal Overseas League, the International Federation of Musicians, and many schools, conservatories, and musical organizations overseas. She also collaborates regularly with musicians and composers from all over the world. She studied composition at the Royal Northern College of Music with Dr. Anthony Gilbert, and in 1979 spent a year in Australia working with young filmmakers. I'm particularly interested in that. I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, let me just read a little more. Alison was invited to organize a special concert at the Buckingham Palace in March 2005 as part of the Queen's Music Day, including outstanding young performers from specialist schools, music schools and conservatories and other establishments in the UK, and brilliant musicians from other cultural traditions. In November 2005, as the UK co-director and creator of the, quote, Commonwealth Resounds, unquote, she initiated new projects in Malta and the UK, with musicians from many different countries. Since that time, Alison has managed to run small-scale Commonwealth music festivals in Uganda, Trinidad and Tobago, and Perth, with limited financial resources, but massive support and goodwill from volunteers. Right? Currently, let me go down. Alison was awarded a distinction in 2010 in the 2010 National Teaching Awards. In 2011, she was appointed as the Community Champion by the Royal Society of Arts, and in June 2012, she was awarded an OBE, right, in the Queen's Birthday Honours for services to the community in the UK and overseas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I read was a snippet of her extensive portfolio, and I focused in on the youth areas in particular because I think this initiative that we're about to discuss today deals with that. So Alison, if you could give us an overview before we introduce our other 2 guests, please.
You'd like an overview of the competition?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Well, I felt for a long time that we should have a special composition award for young people in the Commonwealth, because when I've been around the different parts of the Commonwealth, I've found that in very few countries is musical composition actually taught to young people. And this is a real shame, because musical composition is a fantastic resource for a young person. Mm-hmm. It can give them all sorts of career opportunities. And I know that there's a lot of young people in many countries that make up their own music, but very few of them actually know how to write it down. Now, if you think about it, a lot of people are learning to read and write words on paper, aren't they? If you tell someone a story, you tell it to the people around you, they enjoy it. But if you write down your story, you can share it with the entire world. Mm-hmm. This is how music is. I mean, if you make up a piece of music, yes, you can record it, yes, you can play it. But if you write it down, then other people all over the world can play it as well. And this is why we think a composition award is very important. Now, shall I tell you why I chose Antigua? That was going to be my next question, so please continue. We decided, I was very lucky to get the ABRSM, the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music, on board, because they don't partner with many people, because they're such a distinguished professional organisation, and they have a wide reach over the whole world in their music teaching, in their music examination programs for performers,
yes, for the performers,
and
right.
theory as well. And they were looking for something that sort of goes in between that. And musical composition, of course, fits nicely in between performance and theory. So I went to see them at the time they were thinking about this. And so very luckily, they are partners with us, and they're fantastic partners to have. Now, they said to me, we want you to choose some pilots, some really good partners to be our pilot program. We decided to have 4 countries out of the 53 Commonwealth countries, but we had to think very carefully which 4 countries we were going to choose as our partners. Now, Antigua is very special because you have a musical high commissioner. Now, this is a real bonus. Her Excellency Karen May Hill is a pianist herself, and she knows a great deal about music. I believe she's also studied at Oxford, and I hope I haven't got that wrong. But that gives her sort of a lot of skills as well to make her bring her ideas to fruition. Now, what Karen May Hill has done for music in Antigua already is enormously impressive. They're building the incredible youth orchestra that I'm sure you will have heard a lot about on this programme already. And I think it's going to be only a matter of time before Antigua's music education and development is going to be the envy of the Commonwealth. Now, this is why we have chosen Antigua as a partner, because of the groundbreaking work that is being done here. And there isn't, at the moment, the schools, I don't think, are teaching composition very much. I know that they're very interested, and we have some fantastic partners. I mean, the 2 people sitting here are 2 incredible partners to have on board, and they'll be introducing themselves in a minute. But I couldn't be more delighted that we have them sort of interested in the programme. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running the competition on 2 levels. We want to work with young people who are just starting out in composition, and those are going to be called starters. So they might never have done anything in their lives, but they want to do it. They're interested in music, they want to compose. They will be our starters. And then we're going to have another group who are more experienced, who will be called flyers. And these will be perhaps young people who can read and write a bit of music, who can play their instruments to quite a good level, but who want to write their own music, you know.
Okay.
It's very, very exciting. We can only take people who are really committed, and we're going to choose those people very carefully who are going to be in our programme. But we want some really good young people from Antigua to be involved in this project. There's going to be some very exciting prizes on offer for those who develop as well. So we're looking for hard workers, we're looking for people who are willing to commit to a programme, that they're going to be able to write their own music at the end of it, and then they're going to submit it for an international competition at the end.
I noticed that you are here for a week.
I'm here
just about.
Yes.
Right, yes. You shouldn't get in a lot of beach in a week, yes. So, and I'm assuming, therefore, that there are 2 colleagues who are here with you from our end of the world, that they will be involved in some way in this program.
Yes, they will.
So is it a good time now to introduce them, or ask them to introduce themselves and let them explain their role in this initiative?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so I will go first with, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry. I'm going to get into trouble.
So my name is Jocelyn Beldman. I'm the music teacher from Island Academy, but I also teach privately. And yeah, I'm going to be working alongside my colleague over here. I'm very proud to say he's my colleague now. Try and get this program off the ground as soon as we can. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's very short time because she just came in yesterday. But in terms of the discussion, what do you feel about where we're heading with this initiative?
Well, I'm not quite sure how to answer that because we're just sort of testing the waters right now. See where we can go with this.
Can I chip in here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've asked both Jocelyn and Can to advise me on how musical composition would be best presented to the young people of Antigua. And they are the experts in the music education scene here. And Can himself is also a celebrated composer. He's actually written some music for some of my Commonwealth events. Absolutely wonderful pieces. So I know his work already. But they're going to advise me on some teaching programs that I'm putting together for young people and for people who have never taught composition before. And so they're going to be helping me to make it work in Antigua. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Is it
Yes.
restricted to a particular genre of music, or it'll be instrumental across the board?
Instrumental,
across the board.
All right.
If I may just jump in.
Yes.
So the question that you asked, Jocelyn. Oh, I'm sorry. good afternoon, good
Right.
evening, Antigua. My name is Cam Cordish, the people who don't know.
The
yes,
one or two that might just not know. Yes.
but yes, I am actually extremely happy and honored that we are getting an initiative like this. Something that I wish for, when I was young. But I mean, it's never too late. But where we are right now, it is happening, and we've already started since we met. Between Justin and I, and we'll be communicating with Alison Cox here. The next couple of weeks to next month, we'll be earmarking specific students, not from one school, but from but they will be chosen, and we'll discuss, how we're gonna choose them, how it's going to happen. But we really want students who are committed.
1 second, permit me. So it is not where the students, having heard about this, can then apply somewhere. It will be where the music teachers who are in the system, and I say music teachers loosely, not just school.
Well, we will discuss that one.
Because that's what I want to know. So if someone is listening now, let's suppose a parent is listening, or even a young person who feel that this is something that they might be interested in. Would they be able to show an interest, or it will have to be where there is a selection process?
They can show an interest.
Okay.
But what happens, because we really want it to be something where the students want to do it.
Be there.
We don't want to just go out and say, okay, we're going to do these set of students, and it's something that they're going to have to be committed to. Because it's I think avenues like these are very important, and I think it's one of the reasons why we don't compose as much as we do, because we don't have the avenues too.
Right.
And I think with an initiative like this, I mean, it will do so much good, for our musicians here. Yes, it's instrumental music, it's not vocal music, it's not a song. However, it benefits all the different aspects of music. It benefits young people as well. This is big. You're talking about competing with 3 other nations in the Commonwealth: Rwanda, India, and
New Zealand.
And New Zealand.
Yeah.
And while you mentioned that, because I actually went looking at Miss Cox's work and her music school, and I noticed that she used, in some areas, some traditional instruments. Right? I was looking at the use of the traditional instruments in terms of doing the composition. So I'm going to put, especially Ken, Jocelyn, I'm putting you less on the spot with this one. And this one actually comes out of, I have a young man who sometimes dabbles. Pray for me with this. And for his for his school-based assessment, he actually composed a piece for the Iron Band, which actually surprised me, went down fairly well. And so when I looked at Ms. Cox's work, and I saw that she was doing working with, I don't remember, it was in India or one of those countries.
Yes, that's right. We've been working with the tabla.
Right, that was it.
We've also been working with Korean instruments and Chinese instruments as well. So
clearly I know the easy one for us will be to work along with like the pan in terms of arranging for the pan. But where we have these non-traditional, quote unquote, indigenous style music, like we have those the guitar, the old guitar and the saw and iron and so on, is there potentially scope? I have no clue how it will work. Let me make that clear. I play by ear only.
It's a musical instrument. There's always they always can be used. And there's actually an international name for the steel, as we call it, the iron. It's the brake drum.
The brake drum.
The brake drum. That's what she started. Yes, the brake drum.
They come out of cars.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
She knows exactly what it is. Same thing. It's a brake drum.
I once made a great brake drum gamelan. I made a wooden frame and I hung brake drums on it, and you whack them, and it's fantastic.
Different sizes.
Amazing sound. Yeah.
It's something that the
You mean that there's actually scope for this? I could actually get my son back into this?
If you can think it, then it's possible.
Not likely.
The program that I use, you actually can go into the program and click brake drum as an instrument. It's just a single line.
Interesting.
The other thing is that I want this competition, if possible, for to use Antiguan instruments, traditional instruments, in new ways.
Yeah.
So that we get young people writing for traditional instruments, but bringing new sounds to them and using them in new combinations, perhaps with instruments from other countries as well.
Yeah, the goal is always to be as creative as possible.
Yes.
Which is why I'm extremely excited to be a part of it.
Can you imagine? It sounds very, very interesting. So, I just want to know, we've put the word out as to where we're going with this, and the fact that I think I like also that it's a new. Is it a new initiative that is being piloted?
Yes, it is.
Right, and that we have been chosen again. Thank you, Her Excellency.
Absolutely.
Your Excellency,
Oh,
thank you,
man.
Karen May. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that fact that she's put herself out there to get us these
Yeah.
kinds of opportunities, I
And-
think that's absolutely awesome.
Well, I just want to say that I think that Antigua is now finally getting like our break,
Yeah.
because I think that the young people here have the talent and they have the abilities. We have it here in this small country. It's just the opportunity that we're missing.
opportunities, yeah.
And so,
and the opportunities are now coming.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
So
talking about film score, film
Yeah.
writing.
right,
music
that's one reason I
But
raised
that's
that.
something
Yeah.
that, since
And
I was
also
listening.
writing for adverts as
For
well.
advertisements, yeah.
And
Yeah.
possibly companies in Antigua might like to have a lovely bit of music, for their websites.
Yeah.
And,
and
things
like I was saying this earlier too, I have this dream, like when I came to Antigua, I was like, oh, what is my, passion going to be here? And I soon discovered it was music education. And I thought, people in Antigua are always leaving to go study music, like they go to Trinidad or Miami or whatever. But I just think, imagine if people region-wide in other countries of the Caribbean
Begin to come
could
here.
come to
Antigua.
Antigua
Yeah.
to study music.
Yeah.
Well, I think
That's
we have,
like my
I
dream
think we have something
right now.
starting here.
Yeah.
Two very quick questions because I know time is against us. But in terms of the format, I think that's one of the things I noticed that we've been talking around in terms of you're going to be developing the format through which the instruction will happen. So will it be a combination of we have our local tutors as well as, I don't know, mentorship, international
We have the
tutors?
international support.
Is it something that we're looking at? Can anybody just maybe probably give us an overview of where we're heading with that?
Yes, we're going to have local tutors involved, and Can and Jocelyn are going to help me, to advise on the local tutors and to get in touch, although they're in touch with them already, but they'll know the people that they can approach for this. And other people who want to be involved, I'm sure would be welcome to get in touch with them and make and talk about it. But also, we've got a group of international tutors who can give Skype sessions to young people.
Technology.
So anybody
Yeah.
anybody who is taken on the program will have the potential to have an online Skype tutor who is a young composer, a young professional composer
Mm-hmm.
who will take a personal interest in their work.
Right.
Oh, that sounds very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
We have such good online facilities
Yes.
now.
Yes.
This sort of thing's possible. Skype,
Yeah.
composition lessons.
So then, would be the format of delivery here? Will there be scope for like maybe group sessions, or it will all be individually driven? So each, because I know there's a lot of creativity that goes into it, will be individually driven, or will there be scope for? So, for example, if I am a new person, I've never done any of this before. I have a love for music and so on, but I've never done this before. And for example, I don't have my music certification, the level ones and so on and so forth. Will there be room in this program for persons to do that while at the same time working on their composition skills?
Yeah. Well, this is what Allison said earlier, that they have the two groups. We have the starter group,
Right.
and then the flyers group for more advanced music students. So yeah.
And also, I'm assuming that a lot of very good music teachers will not necessarily know how to teach composition. And so we've got a step-by-step teaching program that teachers can use so that they can teach composition from the bare bones upwards.
So this is about, you learn music, you learn to read music, you learn to play music, but that is totally different to being able to now
Right.
compose and
Compose.
write.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
I just thought that composition.
totally different, but it's kind of a different stream, I
it's
guess.
a different stream. And
Yeah.
this is what she said earlier.
I heard that, but at the same time,
composition between the performance and the theory.
It's in the middle
It's
there.
in the middle.
of it.
Yes,
so you can learn to compose.
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
I teach
It's a
people
skill,
to compose every day.
like anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Permit me, the reason why I ask this, I have been running a series of interviews with musicians. Ken will be familiar. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Ken will be familiar with them. But for example, Victor Babu Samuel, one of our local renowned composers, pan composers in particular. And he says to me he doesn't read a shred of music. And he composes from literal thin air.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if
So
we can find to merge some of those persons, especially the young ones that we have who would be coming in as the...
And I think this is where this program will help us. It will really benefit, Antigua and Barbuda, because I know there are a lot of young people out there who have the ability, who I've seen compose things out of thin air, because it really came out of the way our traditions,
Right.
these oral traditions. A lot of us we able to come up with something on the spot, especially in the steel pan world. I mean, that's where it all came from. Now, if we can marry the two, get from the theoretical approach, where it's not just, okay, well, this is what I'm feeling like, and just throwing it, putting it on the pan, but be able to write it down, and some strategic approaches towards, a start, a middle part,
And the ending.
Yeah. And teaching and encouraging music literacy
Right, yeah.
and
Yeah.
wanting to use music literacy.
Right.
Yeah. Which, as a music teacher, that's something that I struggle with. A lot of my students are not interested in that.
Yeah.
So,
You just want to play.
yeah,
Whatever it
just the
is.
performance.
Yes,
Yeah.
just want to play.
Yeah.
Right. So to wrap this up, because I think we're just about out of time, what exactly will be happening for the next 6 days?
In the next 6 days, I've got a lot of meetings with people that will learn about this competition
Right.
and will understand how it can hopefully understand how it can benefit Antigua and Barbuda, and see the opportunities that it's going to give for the very deserving young people here and the very talented young people here, who, with just a little bit of extra effort, could share their musical efforts with the whole world, and not just with people in Antigua.
Any linkage, any connection between this initiative and the National Orchestra, the Youth Orchestra?
Well, I think the National Orchestra is definitely going to be, they'll all be informed about the competition, and they'll all have the opportunity to volunteer to be a part of it.
Okay.
Because obviously they're very, those young people have done a lot of hard work already, building up the orchestra and being the participants in it. So they'll have some very important skills that might make them suitable applicants for this award.
Okay. All right. So I think perhaps just to wrap it up, and to just, especially for our young people, to let them understand that it's not limited to any genre of music, for sure, right? This initiative, it's not limited to any particular instrument.
No. Yeah.
Right? And in fact, one of the things that we'll be looking to encourage is where persons can bring new, novel ideas to the table. And this
Very
potentially,
important.
right, and potentially I'm seeing that this could also be an opportunity to reintroduce a lot of our traditional instruments that we don't really teach
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
A lot of this oral traditions of music that we have in Antigua, to fuse it with this whole composition. Boy, to be young again.
Yeah.
Officially, I'm 16. Did I mention?
Fantastic.
It's never too late.
Well, we'll keep you posted as it develops,
Yes,
and I
yes,
know
yes.
that Can and Jocelyn will be able to give you all the updates as it comes together.
Yeah, as we're still in the introductory phases of it, but we have started. But we met, we discussed over the next couple of weeks. Joss and I and Alison, via email, we will, get a lot of things on the ground done, because we want to start working with the students as soon as possible. I'm really interested, as I said earlier. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Can
me
you
too.
imagine? I can see
Yeah.
the passion through both of you.
So, I think, this opportunity, we're going to take full advantage of it. Really looking forward to great things, some great ideas, some
Great
new
things
ideas.
are happening in Antigua.
I'm really looking forward to it, and for anybody who's listening, and your parents especially, because the parents play a very important role.
Oh, yes.
Supportive role.
Yes.
In encouraging.
Don't underestimate the power of music education. I just cannot say that enough. Man,
Yeah.
And
so
also,
important.
it's great fun to compose. It really is fun to have your own notes on paper, and then to have a score in front of you. It's not all about writing on paper. It's about improvising. It's about you can draw. You can
and hearing
and
what you've composed.
That's what I'm just going to say. That I think
Having
the most
somebody play
amazing
it.
feeling is to compose something and hear
Have somebody
like
play.
a group or an orchestra bring it to life. Oh man.
Well, just for our guests, just for our listeners, sorry, I just want to just do a very quick recap. We're here discussing the launch of a very new initiative where Antigua is being privileged to take the lead on this project. And it is designed to have our young people involved in a composition training program, at the end of which there will be a competition, for want of a better word, among 4 countries, and the best pieces will be winning a number of awards which we will hear about later on. But today it's primarily to launch the initiative.
And it's not just awards, but they will have professional orchestras
Performances.
Professional?
performing their
Orchestra.
music. Yeah.
Not just in Antigua.
Not just in
but-
Antigua.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Antiguan composers will get around the world.
Yes, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, on big stages. Yes. So
Did I mention I'm 13? I'm coming down in age. All right. So today with us, we've had, I'm conscious of the time and I know your next appointment. So with me in the studios today, we had Miss Alison Cox, OBE from the UK, who is the lead on this initiative. And we also had Jocelyn, I got it right, didn't I, this time, from IA, Allen Academy, and Can, of course, from all over the place. How can I describe you in 2 words? Like I can say Miss Jocelyn from Allen Academy, Can from Clearwater Secondary, Can from Hell's Gate, Can from composing, just Can Cordis. All right, so we had Can Cordis, right. And so we were just introducing the concept to Antigua and Barbuda, the idea that we're now having an opportunity for our young people to be trained in composition. We're now going to marry the Antiguan oral tradition of composing out of magic and marrying it with proper music education, and then building a structure where they will be taught composition not only through local teachers, but there's also the opportunity to partner with international mentors using the technology. All right. What is the timeline on this initiative? When are we looking to begin to see things happening?
We
Do we know?
imagine the first pieces will be coming through round about July.
July 9th is a perfect time to
Yes.
do it. Okay? That's my birthday.
Okay.
I'll get a good gift to go sit and listen to this. All right. So, guests, any final words? We're now just about at 4:38. So, you have to.
Yeah.
I've been keeping an eye on the clock for you.
Yes.
Anything you want to share in final thoughts?
I love Antigua.
We are pleased to have you. We are glad you've enjoyed the beaches, and we look forward to your work. Our young people have really, as we said earlier, been really making strides in music. I mean, and not just what we're accustomed to, because we know we've had a good pan tradition, but now we're seeing it blossoming across in so many other fields. So I'm excited. Really, I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to this. So, all the best.
Thank you.
The doors of We're the Ones remain open for updates, and if you want to bring anyone to perform, we are very much
Awesome.
open.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
So thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right, all the best, and enjoy the remainder of your stay with us. Taking more beaches. If you're ever in the mood, I'll take you hiking one early morning.
Oh,
See a different side of Antigua. All right, so thank you. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I will first. You want another photo? I'm available for photos. I'm kidding. Huh? Oh, you had a photo of that? Okay, that's good. Yes. Go ahead. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Our very first program for the year brings us good tidings of. You go. Yeah, you can go ahead.
I can't take it, or I've got a camera in front of me.
Oh, you want someone to take it? Tabitha, are you listening? It's paging Tabitha. Paging anybody outside? Hold 1 second for me.
I'm with you there as well.
Yes, I'm going to have that done in 30 seconds. My apologies. We are just working to get something started there. There you go. She just wants some photos. Just press the button. It's really easy. She wants up there and then one with all of us together. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. We were just taking care of some technical matters for those of you via radio. So, as I was indicating, we started off the year on a high because we have an initiative for our young people. It's called the Commonwealth International Competition Prize. And this initiative is coming to us through our UK High Commissioner. Bye, everybody. All the best. Happy New Year. Right, it's coming through us through our High Commissioner, Karen Mayhill. And as I read it before, I'll just go over it again. The High Commission is pleased. Let's be fine, Jupiter, for a minute, please. The High Commission is pleased to share that Alison Cox, OBE, founder and chair of trustees of the Commonwealth accredited. Yes, you can take your water. All right. Chair of trustees of the Commonwealth accredited organizations the Commonwealth resounds, and the head of composition of the Purcell School for Young Musicians will be in Antigua. She actually is in Antigua from the 1st to the 8th of January to launch the Commonwealth International Composition Prize. This project, which is being held in collaboration with the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music. You know, for those of us who have young people and not so young who do music theory and music practical, one of the options that they go through is the Royal School of Music in the UK. Well, they will be working along with the Antigua and Barbuda Youth Symphony Orchestra to pilot this award, the award that is the Commonwealth International Composition Prize, in 4 countries. And the 4 countries are Antigua and Barbuda, Rwanda, Sri Lanka, and New Zealand. These 4 countries will be asked to create a first-rate composition training program for young people of school college age. So our school students and our college students will be participating in this composition training program, and it will be promoted and celebrated on an international website as well as in the Commonwealth cultural circles. And the Commonwealth circle, just so you know, that's 53 countries. Alison, she has begun meeting with music teachers and will meet with students to share the features of this program and how they can become involved. Now, in studios today, we just had Mr. Ken Cordis and Miss Jocelyn. I don't remember her last name. It's a very unusual last name. I didn't write it down. I'm so sorry. Jasmine Bellman. Yes, thank you. From Island Academy. And they will be among the teachers who will be participating in the development of this composition training program. It's important to note that we are making strides in Antigua and Barbuda in this musical arena because we are actually the launch pad for this initiative. All right. Now, in addition to that, now go back to giving us some good news before we start doing some reflection and so on, is that those of us who are familiar with the Kenya Masons, anybody remember those? The Kenya Masons, one of them, one played at that royal wedding last year. Well, they're going to be back. The Kenya Masons will return to Antigua in March 2019 for Playing to Inspire 3. The Kenya Masons will be returning to Antigua in March 2019. That's just about 3 months away. As is the norm, the week of activities will end with a grand concert on Saturday, 30th March. Book your calendars, block your calendars now. And a grand concert on Saturday, 30th March, which will include a guest appearance by renowned cellist, conductor and composer Julian Lloyd Webber. That name sounds very familiar. An invitation is extended to interested persons who wish to play in Inspire 3 to join up with the Antigua and Barbuda Symphony. And the pieces that will be played this year would be the National Anthem of Antigua and Barbuda, Handel's Zadok the Priest, Come Thou Fount, a hymn arrangement, All You Need Is Love, and Lift Every Voice and Sing, among others. The choral score will also be provided. And so all that information is now available. You can make contact with any member of the Antigua and Barbuda Youth Symphony, National Youth Symphony, and get some additional information. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, for those of you who tuned in late, I'm very sorry, and I didn't do much. I just literally said Happy New Year and jumped right to the matter at hand. And the matter at hand, as I indicated, that we had some visitors with us. So now I wish to jump back and say a proper Happy New Year. Welcome back. Welcome back to We're the Ones. The break was very interesting. You should be seeing some very exciting initiatives coming through We're the Ones for the year upcoming. Just to place on notice very early, last year we had indicated that the last Wednesday of every month would be dedicated to what we will call our Village series. And we had begun with All Saints Village, which is a very interesting program. The second village has been identified, and so the last Wednesday in January, we will be featuring Bethesda. I'm just going to remind Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles know who he is, because Mr. Charles put me on the spot and said that we talk too much about Point and Villa and Point and Point and Point and Point. And occasionally we throw in Grace Farm, and he was very perturbed and put out. And so for 2019, as promised, we will be doing the villages. And our first village for 2019, we will be going up to the village of Bethesda. I should say Bethesda and Christian Hill. So that we will be looking forward to. The other thing I want to do is, of course, I have to say congratulations. We were having based on our schedule, we would have had a packed afternoon. We didn't anticipate our first guests leaving so early, so I did not invite her in, but my intention is to have her next week. Is that we are to congratulate, of course, our Queen, Thalia, because for those of you who don't know, she went to, and Jupiter, I'm really hoping that he will come back in, because we have scheduled to play one of her performances at the show, but I am without technician at this point in time. So if anyone can track Jupiter down for me, please tell him I desperately need him back in studio. Right, but Queen Thalia, by now we know of her exploits, and she went to Montserrat to participate in the Queen of Queens competition, and she went up against the likes of Karina Ashe from Trinidad and Tobago, and she was successful in dominating the competition, and she soared to the top. So basically, Queen Thalia is now 3 for 3. She participated in 3 competitions for 2018. That would have been the local Monarch competition in Antigua, and she won that. And of course, she then participated in the Leeward Islands Calypso Monarch in Anguilla shortly after that, and she won that. And she capped it off her 2018 with a presentation in Montserrat just the other day, and she also won that. Now, for those of you who are interested and are not aware of her exploits, if you were to go to my page, Facebook page, that is Petra Williams, The Spectator, yes, you would see there are 2 pieces there that celebrates our Queen Thalia. In one piece, you would actually see one of her performances for one of the songs that she did. She did A Cry for Calypso and A Poor Man's Piano, and you would see a presentation of one of those there. That's one of the things I wanted to just very briefly bring us up to speed on. The other thing that I wanted to bring us up to speed on too, that we'll also be looking into for 2019, so we're just going to do a little snippet of where we're going, is that we've heard the Prime Minister speaking about this whole issue of wealth creation and the need to stimulate business development and so on. And so we're also going to add, so we're looking at how we're the ones that will be unfolding over the months ahead, that for a number of weeks, maybe for 2-3 months, every second Wednesday, we will be looking at the whole issue of entrepreneurship and investment. Oh, and before I go any further, I'm sorry, I forgot. This is most important. I must thank and say howdy to my listening audience, especially those who make sure they tune in via. Everybody's important, but I have a few who not only tune in, but also make sure that they say hello. Hi Monique, how are you? It's good to see you. Happy New Year. And of course, Miss Jarvis, thank you for always giving your feedback, sharing your feedback. For those of you who are listening, of course, feel free anytime. You can share your feedback to the program via the Point FM Facebook page, We're the Ones, or I will often post them so you can have a revisit of the program on the Spectator page. All right, so back to where we were now. So for every second Wednesday of the month, we will be looking at issues relating to either investing in Antigua and in the region. And I say in the region because we in Antigua have the opportunity to invest in the region. We will also be looking at issues of entrepreneurship. So we'll be looking at issues of investment and entrepreneurship every second Wednesday for the next, at least from now until April. All right? So we know that our last Wednesday we will be doing a village, and every second Wednesday we'll be looking at investment and entrepreneurship. The first and third Wednesdays we'll be a little flexible with our guests. We can look at a number of things, but those 2 days are reserved for investment and entrepreneurship and for the village series. The other thing I want to draw to our attention to here on We're the Ones Point FM is that last year we did not do a call-in program, and a number of you were very concerned about the fact that we did not allow scope for call-in. So what we are contemplating is that one Wednesday a month, for the second hour, we will allow persons to call in, but the calls will have to be focused on the issues that we would have raised on Point FM. On issues that we would have raised on We're the Ones, or issues related to matters that we would have raised. So, for example, if we're doing investment and entrepreneurship, and you have an issue relating to that is something that you want us to look at in a future program, you can raise it during that call-in session. If you have an issue related to the villages that we would have covered, or something about a village that you'd like us to cover, you can raise that in that session. For example, the interview that we had today earlier about the whole youth composition program, and you have an issue that you want to raise so that we can garner further information for you, that would be an opportunity as well, so that you can do that. So we'll be having one Wednesday per month. For the second hour, we will be having a call-in discussion. All right? Now, what we're looking forward to for this afternoon. This afternoon, we should shortly be joined in studio by Miss Joy Lawrence. Now, why is Joy coming? Because, again, it's linked to the whole issue of the development and the continued fostering of the creative arts sector in Antigua and Barbuda. We know Joy is a writer, a prolific writer, and Joy has been nominated for an international award. And she'll be coming in so that we can share that information with us and to just advise us to what she's been doing with her work with young, and this is also related to young people and her work as a writer that has led to that. Following Joy, we should shortly be joined also by members of the support group for Team Antigua Island Girls. You know that we've been following them avidly, daily, regularly. And so we are going to be getting an update, a little different perspective. They're out on the water. What is happening on the ground here? How is the family coping? How are family members coping? How is their support group going along in terms of where they are, in terms of their cause, the Cottage of Hope, and so on. So those are the two that we'll be expecting shortly. And we should be having that very interesting discussion. So in the meantime, I just wanted to reflect also on a number of things that are also we're looking forward to. So for example, you can look forward to, I don't know how many of you would be familiar with the founders of the Harmonite Steel Orchestra. We should very shortly be having a discussion about the whole history of pan. Pan is a favorite instrument of mine. The whole history of pan, and this time we're going to be looking specifically at Harmonite Steel Orchestra. We would have done Hell's Gate previously, and we would have done some work with Halcyon by virtue of having Babu in studio, where he spoke briefly about the work of Halcyon. So we're going to be looking at the work of Harmonites and the role of Harmonites, not only as a steel band, but also in the development of the community vibes and so on of our neighborhood. So that is something that we're definitely looking forward to. All right. At this time, we're going to take a small break, commercial break, as I try to track down Jupiter to address some technical issues. We will be right back.
You're listening to 99.1 Point FM. It's in the Point area. We are getting stronger.
tear down the mall with the for real. You can't even talk to the nah. She room with bosses and shit. Oh God. I pull up in Rarers and shit. With choppers and Harleys and shit. For real. I be Gucci down. Gucci. You wearing Lacoste and shit. Yeah. Club, yeah, fur came off a belt, yeah, triple homicide, put me in a chair, yeah, triple across the plug, we do not play fair, yeah, God, got them tennis chains on, and they real blingy, Draco make you do the chicken head like chingy, walking Neiman Marcus and I spend a life 50, please proceed with caution, shooters, they be right with me, 21, bad, cute face and some nice teeth, 7,500 on the Saint Laurent jacket, yeah. Careful when you dumping your action. I ain't no sucker, I ain't cuffing no action. Nah. The streets raised me, I'm a hoe. I bought a Rari just so I can go faster. Trying to copy me, they plan catch up. I might pull up in a ghost, no Casper. I been smoking gas and I ain't got no. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. Yeah, 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 in my bank account. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shooters ready to gun you down. Yeah, 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 dog. Yeah, not for real, dog. 21. Prayed about the 6, now I got a house in the hill, dog. 21. Wanna see about it? Get you killed, dog. Whack. Wanna tweet about me? Get you killed, dog. Kill, dog. I'm a real dog. You a lil dog. Bill, dog. Wanna build, dog. Chasing meals, dog. Don't write in your beat like O'Neal, dog. Yes, I shoot like Reggie Mills, dog. Chopper sting you like a eel, dog. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. Yeah, 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 in my bank account. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shooters ready to gun you down. Yeah, 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 ready to gun you down. Ruler clips, send a ruler hit, pull up on your beat. She say that I got a ruler deep. Spray your block down. We not really with that rule. I shoot Glock caught now. I don't really get no about who I hit. Yeah, yo, she get jiggy with me. Keep that ciggy with me. I'm Mad Max. You know I got Ziggy with me. Keep a Mad Max. Case niggas wanna get busy with me. Rory Matt Black. And I got a Bentley. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. Yeah, 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 in my bank account. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shooters ready to gun you down. Yeah, 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 ready to gun you down. 7,500 on the Saint Laurent jacket. Be careful when you dumping your action. I ain't no sucker, I ain't cuffing no action. The streets raised me, I'm a hoe.
You need to move on?
What's up? This your boy D-Lo. Bob K. Shout out to JDR.
Alright, cool that down.
Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Back to the left, look to the left, now pull, pull. Back to the right, look to the right, now pull, pull. Chemo step, chemo step, chemo step.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today's being a very rough day because our technical support seems to have vanished, leave us. So it's been very difficult. As I'm saying now, one of the mics just collapsed, literally collapsed, and I don't know how to fix it. You see it dangling there in the camera. Yes, so I am not at all very happy, but we will make the best of what we can do here now. All right, so with me in studios now, we have Miss Joy Lawrence. I met Joy, I don't remember when. Yeah, I think when I was going to State College. Right, Joy, you used to teach at State College, isn't it?
Yes, but I don't remember you from there.
You don't need to remember me. You're the teacher. You don't need to remember the student. Right. And since then, my interaction with Joy has been that she writes the most awesome history. I love history. She writes the most awesome history about Antigua, and she does work with presenting our history to young people. And to anybody mainly, but I know she's been doing work with young people. And so I'm pleased to be associated. I guess I can use that word with Joy. Joy, lend me that little one there. Yes, please, thank you. I'm pleased to be associated with Joy because I don't know if you can see this. Yes, you see that it says nominated candidates for 2019, and then it says at the back. And if you can see that it says the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award, which we will discuss what those are. But those two things. And then inside, let me see if I can show that. Inside, you see there right at the top, I'm going the wrong way, Antigua and Barbuda. And you see Miss Joy Lawrence. And yes, guess what? So our very own Joy Lawrence, she is one of, and this brochure says, this brochure contains the names of 246 candidates from 64 countries who are nominated for the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award 2019. This list is a gold mine for anyone interested in international children's and young adults literature. All right? And so Joy Lawrence of Antigua and Barbuda has been nominated as the promoter of reading across Antigua and Barbuda. Joy, congratulations.
Thank
you. Good afternoon. Good
afternoon, Peter.
So tell us a little bit about this award and what does it mean?
Well, the award is an annual, I think it's been running, the mic is off.
No,
been running for 19 years now. Now, every country interested would nominate somebody from their territory, from their island. And I think there's a nominating body in culture who looks at your body of work over the years. And, well, they have nominated me this year. And I had to present what I've been doing over the years. And so the judges in Sweden probably looked at the list, the work, and sort of confirm your nomination. And so they wrote to say they have confirmed my nomination for 1919 award.
So what?
2019.
Tell us a little bit about your body of work, please.
Okay. Now, well, I can start from a long time. First of all, I went to Edinburgh in Scotland to study remedial reading, so that children in the primary schools especially would not be left behind. I've been teaching I taught remedial reading for a number of years. That's one. I am a champion of children's rights, and Lindgren, the lady in whose honor this award is given, she was an advocate for children's rights. And I think you're old enough to remember in the 1990s, and they ran on ABS TV and radio, I think. Let the child speak.
Let the child speak.
Yes.
Yes, right. Yes.
Right. So I went straight into my soul to write that poem. Because, in Antigua, we like to tell it, go sit in the corner, and we don't listen to them. And they have something to say. They're an integral part of our community, our society, our world. So they must have something to contribute. We shouldn't just shut them up. We should listen to them. So that's one thing I did as well. And I think you can remember 2016, they used my book, The Whirlwind, the Commonwealth Education Trust.
Yes, I remember that.
Used my poem, The Whirlwind, to educate the children of the Commonwealth with stories and poetry and so. So mine was selected from Antigua and Barbuda. Yes. I've been conducting poetry and short story, being the judge of poetry and short stories competition in Antigua from 2000 to 2017. I took a break last year. It was environment first and then Ministry of Social Transformation. I have always been the head judge. It's a lot of work, and you have to work with the children. I used to go into the schools and so on, and when it's time to judge, I have to give a report, give an address to tell them about their strengths and weaknesses and so on. So it's quite a bit of work I've been doing. I've been on radio 1 minute with Joy Lawrence, talking about our history. I think it runs still. about our history so that they can read. I did it to encourage them to read our history, especially what I have been writing, because I've been doing quite a bit of research and writing so that they can be interested and understand, because I think we have to bring our history to the children, because if we don't do that, they are going to lose out. So we have to bring it in a way that they can understand.
You can hear me? Okay. Wait. So in terms of, I also know I was listening to you run down your list, but you forgot to mention that you.
I'm not even finished.
History. Okay, so go ahead. Share a few more.
Well, I ran a poetry competition. I'm sure Tabitha was at the school at the time. Poetry competition at the State College I was head. I was coordinator, a founder as well of the UNESCO Antigua State College Poetry Competition at the Antigua State College from 2002 to 2006, you know.
So we're going to get that back up, right?
Huh?
We're going to get that back, right?
Get what?
That UNESCO poetry competition back at State
At
College?
State College?
Yes. It's still ongoing?
I know. I taught there at the time. I'm now retired, Petra.
So somebody else can pick it up?
Pass
it on to somebody.
Well, I'm interested if they show interest,
Right.
but I'm not going to impose myself on the college like that.
Okay, so tell us, what does a nomination like this means for Joy Lawrence and the work that Joy Lawrence has been doing?
Well, the world can see my work. I have my books on Amazon right now, and well, it just sheds light on what I've been doing over the years. You know, because sometimes people don't even know what you do, but something like this exposes you to the world.
So so this international nomination, where is it? Where will the ceremony be held?
In Sweden in April.
Are you going?
Of course. You want to come?
Yes. I can't forget you sponsor me.
Boy, if I win, Peter, you come.
Right. But no, seriously, I think the reason why I asked Joy to come along this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, is that I don't think we spend enough time perhaps celebrating the work that especially in the creative arts, that is done in the creative arts sector in Antigua and Barbuda, and the impact that it has on the international community. Because Joy clearly could not have won this award. While it is an award that recognizes what she does in Antigua, it would have had to be that there would have been some semblance of international impact from the work that you're doing here that would cause persons to stand up and take notice. And so the reason why I have you here, Joy, is that tell us the titles of some of the books that you've written about Antigua.
Well, before I go into that, let me tell you. You see that little book I have about the way we talk?
Yes.
And other Antigua and Barbudan folkways? It was up on Amazon for $195 US. Somebody was selling it. Somebody bought it. They're right. They can sell it if they like.
Right.
$195 US before I put up mine. Because, you know what they said on it? They said, this book is unique.
$195.
$195 US.
And people were buying it?
I don't know. But I put up mine.
How much you're selling it for now?
Well, my editor put up the price. I don't remember. Must have $19.95 or something.
$19.95?
Yeah. Yes.
Compared to $195?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, I understand that. But tell us,
first of all, you see, I have so many stories to tell. So, but I'm not going to. I don't know how much time I have here, so I'm not going to waste too much time. But what prompted me to write first was, believe it or not, Hurricane Lois. The 2-day lashing, or as somebody likes to say, shellacking that we got. I had to record that. I had to. And I wrote a short story, and then I put it in poetry form. And I went to Dr. Aegis Bird with it, and she said, "Whoa, that's great. So you can write a book." And I listened to her, and I wrote Island Spice. Don't know how many of you remember that one. That was my first book, and it sold out in a few weeks. Whatever number of copies I had, and then I reprinted in the next year. And, well, that's how I got started. And...
what was Island Spice about?
Poetry.
Okay.
Poetry. That's my first love, you know. That's my first love. Believe it or not, when I started to write The Way We Talk,
No, you go ahead. You're fine.
When I started to write The Way We Talk, it was because of Dr. Murphy's mother. You know, which Murphy, the archaeologist, his mother wrote a little book about the way we talk. And I said, boy, I can improve on this. And I did that, and I continued to improve on it until I think I can say it's the best selling in Antigua among local writers right now. And then when I realized that my school, my primary school, Bethesda Primary School, was the first school built specifically to teach enslaved children in the West Indies, English-speaking West Indies, and I started to read about it and so on. I said, I have to record our history. And not only that, we were losing our culture. We were losing our way of life. I mean, people weren't being respectful. You could not depend on the neighbors anymore to help out the old neighbor with a meal. Or everything was just me and I. And even at that time, we didn't even have the internet. We didn't even have the phones, you know, because that was early, late 1995 or late 1990s or early 2000s, right? But we had internet and so on, but it wasn't so prevalent like now. And when I realized that happened, I said, I have to write. And I had so much fun writing the Bethesda story because I didn't have to go to many people because I grew up there, you know? So, and things I didn't want to forget, our people to forget, the world to forget about our village, about Bethesda and Christian Hill, because you cannot say Bethesda unless you say Bethesda and Christian. You know that? You cannot separate Bethesda from Christian Hill, and that's a given. And do you know that through that, the founder of the school, great-grandchildren came down here. They've been coming every year. The founder of Charles Twait's great-grandchildren have been coming down every year, you know, to celebrate with us.
So, and that's one book, and you've written others.
I after the Bethesda book, I say, I'm going to continue because I didn't even plan to write more. But that got me worked up, got the juices flowing, and I remember my father used to work at Betty's Hope. And so on, I started to write Betty's Hope and Barbuda and Param. I was crazy, putting all three together. That's crazy. The thing was tick. So I just said, okay, forget Barbuda and Betty's Hope for the time, and I tackled Param. And I did that. And what was good about writing Param, I had the documents from the estate papers.
Okay.
I had them lock, stock, and barrel from... I think it was 1689 or something like that.
Wow.
To 1920.
But Joy, listening to all of these things that you're telling us, it sounds like we have to just bring you alone back for a 2-hour session to talk about the work that you've done. Because today, what I wanted to focus on, and I just asked you about the books that you wrote.
Because you set me up.
Yes, I set you up. Of course, I set you up.
You set me talking.
Yes. But no, that's the whole idea. What I wanted to, what I'm saying to you is, as a result of all that you're talking about, it is clear that you need to come and spend 2 hours with me. So we just talk about the books and the impact the books have had on Antiguan history. Because how much really do you know is written about our history? A lot?
Well, I know Died wrote a book, but not... he died. You know which died? Brian died. Brian died, yes.
So we have him. We have now Natasha doing some writing.
And
we have
Nicholson.
Mr. Hurst that would have done some. We have Nicholson that would have done some small books.
Yes.
And so on. And we've had, what's her name there? Mika, who would have done the
towers and the, you know.
Right. So I think what I'd love to have our discussion on is the whole history of Antigua and Barbuda, documenting and the significance of it. Because I think this award for you, while it is looking at a particular aspect, it comes out of the fact that you are presenting our history to our young people in a manner that they can enjoy.
And it's not just young people. They want you to do young people and young adults. You remember, I also work with the State College
yes,
trainees.
I remember that.
Not State College, what call it?
It was the teacher training.
Teacher training. Trainees and so on. You know, I enjoy what I do. Every year I'm into this. People don't even know the breadth of what I do because I don't go on and say, oh, I've been doing this and doing that.
All right. So, Joy, Okay, I think we're having a... Yes? I have no clue. I don't know if the mics are okay. I don't know anything because I have no technician. I don't know what's going on. This fall apart. Yeah, I know I'm saying it on air, and I'm deliberately saying it on air so that people understand sometimes the challenges that I have to go through while I'm having the show. Yes, because sometimes they forget to bring us technicians. I'm a technician. Go and leave me. Yes, so look, you see, the mic fall apart. I can't lock off the thing now. I'm going live. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Thanks for coming, but I don't know what is going on. All right. So, Joy, I think we gonna because I need to do a overlapping now. I want you to come back and sit and talk to me. And I'm putting you on notice that the last Wednesday of this month we'll be talking about Bethesda and Christian Hill. So I want you, along with other people from the community, so get me a panel so we can really dig into the history of the community.
Get Bethesda people to come?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh dear, that don't sound... All right. Never mind. We're going to work on it.
You have to talk off about that one. Yeah.
So,
listen.
Tell me.
So I'm going to go, mention point. I'm writing about point.
Oh, yeah, yes. Give us a little snippet. But I don't think you want to tell the people right about point now?
Yes, no, I just want to mention it.
Yes,
because people say, when the book are done. You think they can just and finish a book? You have to take time and write it properly. I just wanted to mention that much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, especially point people. She is doing a book on point. I don't know what is in the book yet. I want a sneak peek. But I am, she's dragged me in, so we're going to be looking at a little bit more, some of the things. And Joy, we can't tell them too much about that now.
No,
right?
But I just want to say, I am doing it.
Yeah, she is doing point. So, I want to, again, ladies and gentlemen, let me back the brochure. I want to again congratulate Joy publicly that she is among the nominated candidates for the 2019 Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award. The award ceremony will be held in Sweden later this year. I want to go with Joy. Joy, I want to come with you. It will actually be held on Tuesday, the 2nd of April, 2019. And Joy, I was looking through the nominees to see the other Caribbean islands that are represented.
You not find none in there.
Joy has been nominated against persons from countries like, for example, the United Kingdom, Sweden, Spain, South Africa, Romania, Norway, Latvia, India, Germany, Georgia, Ecuador, Denmark, France, Greece, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, China, did I say the United States? The United States, Belgium, Austria, and our Joy Lawrence is nominated among this very illustrious panel.
Isn't that something?
Yes, Joy, I want to congratulate you. I want you to continue doing the great work you're doing. I'm looking forward to the point book. Yes, Monica Bias Pandat. And continue the great work that you've been doing.
Thank you very much.
And we look forward to hearing good things about your nomination. And please keep us updated on We're the Ones. And I've already served you notice. We look forward to having you back again.
Thank you very much. I'll be happy to come back.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We had Joy. Joy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So, there you had it, ladies and gentlemen. We had Joy Lawrence today with us. And we were celebrating her nomination to the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award, which will be announced in Sweden in April this year, and we wish Joy the very, very best. This seems to be our woman power continuing because we have so many of our women doing so many wonderful things, not only locally but regionally and internationally. We are now setting up for our final guests for this afternoon. We will be joined shortly by our final guests. And just as we await their arrival, we just want to again acknowledge that our first segment, we were looking at a Youth Composition Award. Yes, you can pull it. Pull hard. Yes, you're looking at our Youth Composition. Please to tell the other panelists to come. I'm really having a rough day today. Nobody's working with me at all. Them to come, please. Yes. So I'm looking forward to my last group. If you would allow me a minute so I can get them because I'm really short today.
must be. All these women around me, they get rowdy. When I walk in here with my lady, they wanna shake me, wanna break me. Oh Lord, they drive me mad. Don't mean anything by it, wanna try it, but you're my final target. Cause a wine is a wine and you don't have to flex for it. Guilty as charged, as charged, as charged. I'm whining at large, at large, at large. Baby, you come with me, so don't worry. If with you I'm going home, but tonight I want to roam. So take a wine, take a wine, take a wine, take a wine on the side. Take a wine, take a wine, take a wine, take a wine by the time. Take a wine, take a wine, take a wine, take a wine on the side. Take a wine, take a wine, take a wine, take a wine every time. I pray, oh, 'cause tonight I want to roam. I pray, I got to roam, got to roam, got to roam. Oh.
This is Point FM 99.1 on your dial, the hottest in entertainment.
You know what I'm saying? Get Babylon side, Antigua, Barbados. Alright, we tell them, jumping over the limit. Winding over the limit. Winding over the limit. Baby, over the limit. Jumping over the limit. Winding over the limit. Winding over the limit. Baby. Alright, 1 rum, 2 rum, 3 rum, dead. I'll cock a buckle and straight to the head. Last man standing in enemy fed and not coming home. I told me I read out. Hands up, flags up, anybody ready? Can't believe the sun come up already. Bumpers bout them, hit it down heavy. Don't tell me about the time and Jerry. Start the job. We have no limits. We have no limits. Start the way. We have no limits. Get the ball. We have no limits. On the road. We have no limits. In the field. No limits. Take it round.
That song was not deliberately planned, right, ladies and gentlemen, but the fact that we have no limits, it just came in so, timely, because our ladies on the sea right now, I don't know if Mommy Clashing going to agree with me, but they have no limits. They're pushing it to the extreme. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. So this segment, we are going to be discussing our Team Antigua Island Girls. And with me in studios today, this afternoon, we have Mikael Brand. And Mikael is part of the media and public relations team.
The overall admin
Okay,
team.
overall admin. Mikael, you might want to pull that a little closer to you before somebody tell me they can't hear you. Right. My social media people very, very aggressive. Right, yes. So we have with us Mikael as part of the administrative team, and we have Mommy Clashing, no, you don't want to say that. We have with us Miss Edith Clashing, mother of one of our ladies underwater. So I'm going to start with Mikael first and come across to Miss Clashing. Mikael, how are our girls doing? I shouldn't supposed to know kind of thing, but how are our girls doing?
At last update, they're well. They're in good spirits and doing that. They're frustrated because if anyone has been following the weather and the tracker, they're in very, very light winds and in some instances headwinds. So the conditions are very different than the teams had last year with the winds at their back pushing them towards Antigua. So it's a hard row. Are they
actually rowing now?
They are actually
in
rowing.
This.
Yeah, if you look at it, you'll see that it's a slow speed, but they're rowing. There's some teams that aren't, and this is following on from around Christmas when teams were on para anchor and they rowed and they did that. So they're in just windless conditions right now. So it's making their job that much harder. But all things considered, they're in good spirits. What we do get from the updates is that the list of foods they want upon arrival.
You mean we've gone past KFC?
Way past. It's easier to say what they don't want at this point than to say what they do want. That list of what they don't want is shorter.
Okay.
But they're doing okay, and I think all of Antigua and Barbuda and everyone in the diaspora should be very proud of them.
Should be? You mean are very proud of them? Okay. The only thing. Anyway, we'll come to that. So, we know that they're in a little more challenging than usual times now. So I want to ask Mommy Clashing, Edith, how are you coping? Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Antigua Florida. I think I'm like everybody else, really. Just checking and monitoring where they are. I'm coping okay. I would admit that at the start, the beginning, it was very tense and troubling for me. I didn't sleep for 3 days properly. But now I've settled down.
And you're sleeping now?
I am sleeping better now, yes. And I we have had the opportunity of them being now underwater for what? Some 14 days.
14 days, yes.
And so
14 days of push-ups,
we have
yes.
sort of established, a pattern of what it's like for them. And because I know the girls and I know how determined and how strong they are, I've settled down, and I think that they are doing things in as best a manner that they can. And so I'm fine.
I know that you are a swimming instructor, so you are familiar with water conditions. And also, actually, I smiled because when I saw, what's your daughter's name again? Crystal. When I saw Crystal in the water, cleaning under the boat, and she looks like she's having a whale of a time. You mean like, not me, she can go on. I'm sorry. That was my first reaction. And when she asked, like, you know what, go do some more push-ups, Petra, because that's the best thing that you can do. How did you feel? I mean, she's out in the middle of nowhere.
I know, but I didn't, sorry, I didn't feel any fear.
Could you pull the mic just a little closer to you?
I didn't feel any fear for her, particularly.
Okay.
Because I know what she's capable of. My last instruction to her was, I know you have to go overboard to do this, but just make sure you're tethered to the boat all the time. Because no big wave, I don't want any big wave to come and wash you
away, okay.
and be separated from the boat. So all the rope and all the holding on that I saw, I realized she was following my instructions to the T. So I'm good with that, and it's wonderful that we have technology such that we can actually get the videos and see some of what they have been going through. For me, that has been the most reassuring aspect of things.
That you can see that they're fine.
Yes, and you can see their faces. I mean, they don't look like they are growing any beards.
You didn't expect them to grow beards? Come on.
With all of the stress and strains, they look healthy. They don't look like they've dropped a whole heap of weight at this point. And I think that they are looking after themselves. I always try to look to see how the hands are looking, because I know that is an area that gets a lot of...
from the rowing, the blistered hands, okay.
I always try to look and see how their hands are looking and see whether I'm seeing a lot of, if possible, any lesions or anything like that. And so I think generally speaking, they seem to be holding up quite nicely.
Do you get the different videos to what we see, or you see the same things that we see?
What you see is what I see. I don't have an in. Mikhail will tell you, I'm just like Joe Public. And so what you see is what I see. Maybe sometimes I might see it before you, but basically what you see is what I see.
Okay. Have you been able to speak to them?
No, I haven't. And to be honest with you, I last spoke to Crystal the day before she would have left. I was in China at the time when she left, and communication was a little difficult. But we did speak, and we spoke well. And I did say to her, well, you're not going to be able to speak to me tomorrow because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
However, we understand between us and with the family that I would not even be trying to call. I don't have the mechanism to call, because I don't think it's a wise thing to do, because you don't know what the situation that they would have been in at that moment.
Right.
And I just said, well, if at all anybody needs to communicate, you will have to do the call. And we know our...
So like Christmas Day, you all didn't get to speak to them?
No.
Okay.
But we know our children, and they know that we don't want to be, overly having to communicate and get in their way. So, we're good.
So how did, in terms of the parents, the family members, do y'all like correspond with each other? Because, I mean, you get the videos, so you know that they're looking good. I know what you look out for and so on. So what is the dialogue like among family members?
Well, Mikhail has been so supportive, and she has formed a family WhatsApp chat. And so, it affords us the opportunity to ask questions that we may not want to
ask on social media,
Okay.
and also to make our own little comments between ourselves, and that has been good. I think that has been very welcome, and it makes us feel like we are all in it together.
Okay. All right. Michael, back to you. This one is particularly important because I was listening to Marcella, and she and I had a conversation off record, and I note that we know, well, I don't know if Antigua people know because that bothers me, but this is the adventure of a lifetime is one thing, but they're also doing it in support of another cause. Has there been any improvement in our outpouring of tangible support?
Not much. I believe we'll get there. I think what's happened is, as you said, everyone has thrown their support behind the team. So, for instance, you will see on the post that they did the video from Christmas Day. Last check, it was over 24,000. The one from New Year's Day, when I checked,
Hurricane come?
the ho ho ho, how was Santa get here on Christmas?
Yes.
Yesterday with Crystal doing her foods, and the one for New Year's, that was well over, on its way to over 12,000 the last time I checked on that. And so what we know is that people are engaging with the team in different spheres on all the different social media platforms. But that has not translated tangibly into dollars for support. And as you said, all of the teams out there on the ocean are rowing for a charity, a cause. And our team is rowing for Cottage of Hope, which is a group home for girls who have been abandoned, orphaned, or neglected. It's a small home. It's one of the smaller ones. And because of its size and the fact that it operates in anonymity, it means that they're able to put less in the public. Everybody likes to grab and grin. Everybody likes to see what it is. And so because they've operated under the radar, it means that they've had access to less funding. And so it was really a good thing that when the team came across this charity, they looked at several, as you would know, and I think that's what sold it for them. The anonymity, the attempt at having the residents have some semblance of normal lives considering their situations. And so we've had people who have called up and said, what do I know about Cottage of Hope? And we've said, the due diligence has been done. As you know, they're now under the patronage, as is the team, of their excellencies, Governor General Sir Rodney Williams and Lady Williams. And so we said you have to trust that due diligence and all that's needed to be done is done, and it will be managed. And so give support for the team. So it has not, but we're hoping that people would do that. And one of the ways, obviously, is the website, AntiguaBarbudaIslandGirls.com, and you can walk through the process, follow the example. When you get to the part where you put in your number, put in 268 or just your area code. Don't put plus anything. Don't put 1 or anything. Just put that in. As you pointed out, people had been having issues that way. But even if you are, I want to say to anyone who's listening, even if you are having issues, then send an email, send something so that we can help you walk through the process. But just follow the example that's given on the website.
They had the one up, so they need to take it down.
Well, to follow it, you can go to Caribbean Union Bank.
Hold a second. Hold on. I'm going to get in trouble. Do they have a Cash App? Is there a Cash App? These are the Canadians and this person from the U.S. are asking about the apps.
No, they don't.
They've been pressuring
and
me
let me
here.
tell you why. Everyone says, go do GoFundMe, go do different things. What happened is the team is a registered charity in Antigua. And as you know, GoFundMe and these things, they can't send money to Antigua legally. It would have been a legal issue. So people who are using GoFundMe and those things are registered stateside or in those other places. We're not. We're unable to do that, to take money that way. So if you're in the diaspora, we can be creative with it. You can do it through the website or send it to your friend, just as the same way you send back, the remittances to the country. Tell your friend to give it to you and you'll refund it. We'll find a way to get it. I mean, I know that these are the ones that are most convenient, but I mean, the girls are out in the Atlantic and that's not exactly convenient for them. So I'm just asking everyone to just, even if you have to go just that extra distance. And for anyone in Antigua, you can walk up Fries Hill Road to Caribbean Union Bank, and the account is Team Antigua Atlantic Rowers, because that's the charity under which the team is operating, and the account number is 100-012-82. 100-012-82. Or you can go onto any of the team's social media platforms
and say, I have money.
And said, I have money.
Come and get it.
Someone come, and trust me, we will find you. And what we want to suggest to people is, you know what, if you're at work, pass a hat one day. You know, whatever it is you say to your coworkers, you may say, listen, we're not going to buy lunch today, but let's pass a hat. And whatever we pass, you get to give it. And if whatever your company name is, you know, send it for that. If you're at church, wherever you are in your social organizations, just anywhere, if you pass that, because it's one thing to everyone is so in tune with the team and love what they're doing. But remember, when our girls come home, we don't want them to be disappointed with the limited funds that we've raised for their efforts. So, you know, walk it like we talk it. I also want to say we have some shirts, the rash guards, and they're at 3 locations. They're at the gas station in English Harbor, they're at Ken's Club, and they're also at Kennedy's Club.
Ken's Club was cutting style today. Ken's Club was cutting style today.
Was it? But really, you know what? I don't know what it is, but people
Nina getting on it today. So unless they run out, you see what I have on? I had big plans to put on my shirt today. I want my shirt.
Well, you know what the report from Ken's Club was today, because I checked
finished?
because I know I was coming. No, people have been going in and asking for shirts and then complaining about the cost. And I said,
I went with my money.
Well, I don't know. You must
remember you told me how much it was in advance.
They're $135. We'll sort you out. But what I want to say to people is, if you genuinely cannot afford the $135, then you can donate to the team whatever it is that you have.
Yes.
And if you can, but you're looking for a bargain, I mean, as I said to someone who tried to talk me down in the price of the things, I said, this goes to benefit residents of Cottage of Hope, present and future. So that's like you saying you want a discount. You can pay more, but it's not an auction. We won't take less because, you know, unless you want us to serve the girls cornflakes today and the milk tomorrow or bacon today and no eggs, and just to understand the cost. And if you really are in awe, I mean, these girls are out there in the middle of the Atlantic in what equates to a bathtub. You know, they're rocking around in a tub, a safe one, they're safe. And so you can't say we support you and come in and then say, this is just way too much. If you genuinely can't afford it, then give what you have towards the charity. And if you can, give with a cheerful heart.
So, since you said about the giving with a cheerful heart, you know, I have to lime a little. So Saturday on my lime, and I'm going to call his name, Tony. Tony, electrician, says, you all need to get some boxes. Mark on Team Island Girl and them. Tell him he will go to Epicurean one Saturday. Y'all need to show up with the box. And he will stand up. He will bring his crew. Apparently, I'm part of the crew. I did not know this. He is going to carry his crew to Epicurean on Saturday once you all have the box, the Mark and Team Antigua Island Girls. And he will solicit the change out of everybody. And when he is done, y'all just take the box from him right there on the spot. He says he thinks that is an awesome idea. I am to tell you, I am putting it publicly into the universe. Get some boxes. And he says we will have volunteers. He will lead a team and he show other people. So like you say, pass it around at work. He's saying get the box so that people can know that this is coming back directly to you guys. So it's not like you pass the box, Petra pick up the money, and then people might be concerned and argue Petra because she can put them in her pocket. Speaking of putting it in her pocket, today I went for lunch and a man tempted me to do 5 push-ups in public, in my heels, and ask how my vex. Anyways, in future hopes that I am going to do these 5 push-ups on camera. I don't know when. Here you go. The man sent his $50.
That's good. Very good.
Yes.
So we have $10 a push-up. Go, Petra.
Not today.
Now I'm rooting for you to be able to get to 100 push-ups. If the going rate is $10 per push-up.
Yes, I got that today. No, seriously, I was having lunch and the man is like, Miss, like what? Yeah, Facebook, you put up the push-up, the challenge. I said, yeah. I said, you're going to join me? He said, no, sir. I'm going to pay you to do some more. So there is the $50, the promise and that. But I think that what that gentleman suggested about some boxes, you know.
It's not a bad idea. I know that one of the things I suggested on Facebook is if everybody gave between $50 and $100, and even 100 people do that.
Yeah, we'll be well on the way.
Not 100, 1,000 people do that.
We'll be well on the way.
Yeah, we're well on our way. And I mean, it's like you just need more persons to participate in the giving, and it doesn't have to be onerous on any individual. If you think you can't afford a large amount, then just give what you can. I mean, really, even if you give $20, it's still going to help to fill the basket, right? But if everybody could at least 1,000 persons. And if you're having that many persons liking the page and supporting, if everybody
I said $5 per like.
give a $50 or $100, and I think we'll be well on our way.
Right, I think that will be good. And for ladies and gentlemen who are listening via radio, that last voice you heard, in case you tuned in late, that was Mommy Edith Clashing, mother of Crystal Clashing, one of the persons on the sea. And, you know, as much as possible, we're going to keep trying to keep the updates going on. And Mikkel had already updated us earlier on the fact that they're still rowing. It's a little challenging now. They're in difficult waters. The wind, there's still more or less, it's more or less.
And depending on where you are, there are light winds, and some teams are facing headwinds. Our team, I think, is more affected by light winds.
Because I noticed I saw some of the boats again turned back where they were coming
headwinds,
from.
I think if you look at the dot watchers and the recent update, you know, further northeast and east you are, the worse it is if you're down. So some people are in headwinds, we're in light winds right now.
And the three scoundrels at the front that got away, we're still rowing away. Are they in light winds too, I hope, by now?
Well, they're wrong, but you know what? If you look at the update, right? I mean, one of the things the update says is that this year's conditions are not conducive. We won't be having records and all of those things happening this year.
And every year it's
just a vagaries of rowing the Atlantic, and it's to be expected. So those big teams at the front, I mean, if you look at the pictures and you see them, those are big guys and strong people.
Yeah.
And
they're struggling.
It's been, awe-inspiring has been, if you look at them, they're in third place. I'm thinking that they may be in first. They have been managing, when the conditions are as much as normal, they've been managing to post like four knots and 3 point. They're consistently high. But what was confirmed today as well is that a lot of those teams are rowing. You know, we talk about rowing in twos on 2-hour shifts. A lot of those teams are rowing 3 and up
1. I noticed.
And getting the power and doing that.
I noticed.
And I think so. The challenge tells you when you go onto the website that it is overall not a race. The challenge is in getting in your boat and starting in La Gomera and arriving in Nelson Stockyard in Antigua. That's the challenge, is in the crossing. Of course, as these things come in, then people start to go for speed and time and race and records, right? And so what they'll tell you, different people are doing it for different reasons. So for the teams that are trying to be competitive, then now they've got to figure out their tactic. We saw our girls go further south than everyone else in trying to do
panic 2/3 of Antigua.
True.
And that's good. And that was just to check their pulse to make sure they were paying attention.
Are you paying attention?
Pay attention.
Hey, what's going on
So
here?
now that we know what they're paying attention, now we want them to give to the cause. But the team is doing that. And so, I mean, yesterday you asked about communication with them. I've only physically spoken to them twice.
Oh, you get to speak to them?
If they've called or if they've needed something.
Okay.
And
like
Edith.
Slow down. Needed something?
We had a request for Sam who wasn't sure because she didn't trust because she's hallucinating about food. So she didn't trust Kavinia to carry the message because every day we get it, we've added so many different things. So they weren't sure if it's pound cake or lemon cake or chocolate cake or if it's or and. But whatever her dream was, she dreamt. She told Kavinia. Kavinia didn't tell her, and some dog got involved and the food fell and the dog ate it. So she needed to deliver her message. Okay? So we've had those issues. I mean, and there was another, in terms of the conditions. Other than that, it's an email, in reach, WhatsApp, and it's very, if they send something, as in needing us to do something, because you're not sure about when they turn that satellite, how they get it. Our response, response is very brief. It's a thumbs up, as in you've gotten the message, or yeah or no. It's not, nobody's going back and forth. It's
stay focused.
Exactly what's needed. One of the things as you know, they have the team routing them and doing that. Yes. So we in no way get involved in that. We don't tell them you're in this position, you're here, you do this, we offer nothing because you're not meant to tell them. They're, to cause frustration or anxiety or to do anything. So it's pretty much Antigua's behind you. The routing team will take care of telling them where they need to go. So the conversations are very focused in terms of what it is, what they need, and then we go that way.
The whole issue of I'm sure you dot watch like we do.
Of course I do.
Right. And when we dot watch, it looks to us like they're close. like the boats are close by. And I had to explain to someone today that no. They're close on the dot watcher. On the tracker, sorry. You're going to join her with her dot watcher story. But in reality, they are very unlikely to be seeing another rowing boat next to them. Is that correct?
I would believe that. I think there's quite a bit of distance
There's
between
70-something miles from the next boat.
I think one report showed, I think there was one boat as close as maybe 2 miles on one occasion, or some short amount like that. But they have their own space. They're not gonna run and jam into another boat. It ain't like that. The ocean is big and wide, and there is considerable distance between them. It was just great that they saw the cruiser, the yacht coming down, and there's an awesome picture taken aerially, and I was just enthralled with that. And I guess for them, seeing something live, in terms of human activity.
Actually, they called them on their satellite, the boat, so they engaged, they talked with them, they called them on the satellite and told them they were heading to the BVI and then Antigua. Of course, they offered them a hot shower, hot food and everything, but they can't take on anything. As they said, we'll take you up on the offer when we get to Antigua. So it was just good, like company.
I think that was very good encouragement for them as well. All I can say to the public is to let's keep rooting for them, give them all the love and support they need, let it translate into a few dollars into the bank account. And I have every faith that these girls are going to make it through, and they're looking good so far, and we just need to, keep rallying behind them.
I have a question for you, Mommy Kashin. This is interesting. When I saw the video of, was it Crystal preparing her food? Her lunch.
Her lunch for New Year's Day.
Right. And the song behind of it. Hurricane a come. See me like, wait, hold on. Now imagine, yes, you've gotten used to her being underwater, the whole lot of them being underwater, and you know that they're building a nice bond and everything. And you're picking the play. By the way, rain was coming in Antigua. I turned and think rain pouring in Antigua, like hurricane a come. She can't see it. Ladies and gentlemen listening.
I question the choice of this song myself, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. They need stuff that's lively to keep them
motivational.
Going. Yeah, it's okay. They don't get caught up on the lyrics.
I think they just have a whole playlist. They had been compiling, like they have playlists of the different songs that they like. They have playlists of Antiguan music. They had flames, so I think that just happened to be in rotation. But listen, these girls went out there fully well knowing that if a hurricane came, they were battened down inside the cabin. And they're daredevils, and I don't think they're calling anything on them. Or
I don't think.
No. But it was just interesting. But it just shows you how tough they are. Fearless. You understand what I mean? That was just another Island Girls. We'll cross that line in Nelson's Dockyard. We're just looking at when they come. I think regardless of when they come, as I said to someone, they're looking at the time, and if they come in January, we tell them Happy New Year. They come in February, we tell them Happy Valentine's Day. If they come in, for Easter, we say Happy Easter.
No. Not so long.
They're not going to be. Well, realistically, they pack 60 days. There's a point where they pull you out of the water.
Why.
But we've had people.
She wants to do this with you here, talking about she gone past Valentine's, but not.
They're not going past Valentine's. They'll be here. The light winds, the conditions. They want to get home. We want to welcome them home. And the one thing we know is that when they have the chance, when they get the satellite and they see the kind of support that they have, that's fantastic. What they don't know, because they're seeing all this awesome support, what they don't know is how it's translated into dollars. And we just do not want, not just to not disappoint them, but the Cottage of Hope, the charity, and everything that we've done. I want to say that they're doing something in terms of galvanizing this country. It was Crystal who spoke about in her bio about how this is something that cricket once did for Antigua, and she's seen the previous two teams, their arrival, and it's pretty much galvanized us. It's given us a kind of common rallying point together. We saw that when most of the female parliamentarians, regardless of where they sat, they got together. And I like to make the point that they weren't someplace and said, let's do this. They came from wherever they were and they got together only to do that.
Right.
And they actually do have a group where they're watching the team and rallying with them, and they've promised that they will make their donation and to do that. And it's brought a lot of people together. And so it's just doing so much. We see the Essence article. They're now getting picked up in other magazines. I saw another request today. And they're doing something for Antigua. They're doing something as the first all-female team from the Caribbean, the first all-black team anywhere to row across the Atlantic, and as Antiguan women who don't look the seafaring part, who are not the seafaring part. It also says a lot about our historical and ancestral fear of the water. It does so much for all of these kids. It bolsters the national sailing
I am
program
going to be learning
for people who go out to sail. It just says that you can do
I'm going
it.
to be learning to dive.
See, there you said that. It just opens the horizons, not just for the team, but for so many people. And if you think about it, there are a group of young women who have had a hard time in life, and they sit there knowing. I mean, we can't put them in the public light, but they imagine they are sat at home knowing that this is for them. And think about how people who are talked about, talked at, talked for, and not spoken to feel that these 4 young ladies and Janella are doing it for them.
Me.
I mean, in the whole words of like the American Express, like just priceless.
One word, priceless. Janella, you mentioned that. How is she faring now?
Janella's okay. She had.
Tell her she's not allowed to think about going to do it solo next year. Just tell her that early. Okay, carry on now.
I mean,
just
I think
case that's
we hope that that it'll be there. She'll roll. She's young. Janella's tall. She had that. She went out, as you know, to La Gomera with the team, and she was there. And so she still has that bug. She still sails with the National Sailing Academy.
She's not going to do it solo. Okay.
Listen,
are you putting that
if
in
that's
her,
what she
her mind?
if that's what she wants to do, then we'll rally behind her to do that as well. Because one of the hashtags for Team Antigua Island Girls is "These Girls Can."
Yes.
And this is just the thing. This is just about like raising the bar and telling people to step outside of stereotypes and limitations and break the mold. And so if somebody out there is thinking of a solo row, then you know what, Antigua and Barbuda is going to rally behind them too.
Not saying anything else.
I mean, I tell you what, right?
Next thing you're going to blame me.
Edith doesn't want to hear it, right? But I've told Edith that before they left, her child, Crystal, and Samara already told me what their next adventure is in 2 years. Okay?
And I'm going to ask.
So,
Edith, you want me to help you tie it out?
I don't want to know either. All I do know is that Crystal is fairly adventurous.
Fairly?
She has done things and told me after she has done them. So,
For your heart's sake?
Maybe. I hope so.
But after this, your heart should be like... no limits.
The truth of the matter is, I've allowed my girls to develop in such a way to be independent, to go after the things that they like, and I would never stand in their way to achieving, of pushing the boundaries.
Okay,
really.
so you can tell her.
I really wouldn't. I would not stand in their way. I actually have the second one, my second daughter, saying, when it's her turn. I'm like, okay. As a matter of fact, she wanted to go on this, and she wanted to be in the team as well, and I had to say, you
had to put on your foot?
No, I had to put my foot down. No, not 2 together. I'm sorry.
Also, Janella might have company for peers.
Yeah, that would have been.
I'm checking mommy's face. I'm talking about next.
It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure that they will want to repeat it. I haven't heard too many of the teams say that they would love to repeat.
I think when they come back, I know the ones we have spoken to. When they come back, they're now looking for the next big adventure.
Yes, because we have from last year, Mark Slats. He rode solo, and now he's going around the world by himself on a little bigger boat. And I'm following him, and he goes through these storms and and I'll be there worrying for him, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's over and done with. Oh yeah, I didn't get to eat for 2 days. I hallucinated for a day or 2 by myself.
I mean,
those kind of things." I'm like,
did you see the one about there's a Frenchman in a barrel?
Let's not discuss it.
Did you see
that one? I saw that one.
Hey, that is
one.
not a barrel. That is not a barrel. That is a high-tech thing. Okay, that is not a real barrel.
But I mean, you have to take your hat off to persons who like to push the boundaries, because in a sense that's the way you grow. That's the way you venture into new arenas. I mean, I followed the guy in Barbados who swam around Barbados. I don't know if you saw that on Facebook. I think he was in that.
They don't have shark around Barbados, also?
I'm sure they do. He's not unaccompanied. He would have been accompanied by a boat. But what I'm saying is that you know, there are people that like to do these things. The people that cross the English Channel, and you know, these are just things that push their adrenaline, and also for them, it's just overcoming some basic fears that they might have had, and you know, you just have to take your hats off to them.
So, I'm taking the hats off to them. I know, Mikkel, that there have been a few people, less crazy, who have been trying, because they issued a challenge to Antigua to do some challenges. I know there's one person who's walking every day. Ready? I come in. I promise. I come in. She wants me to come join. I come in. She just messaged me. Yes. Are there other people who have taken
we've
up
had
this
one
challenge?
person who's very close to the team,
Oh,
and
Neil?
his challenge was
Neil?
meant to not rough out. Neil, and we had Nelson, and Nelson's challenge was to get in 100 miles, whether that was in walking, running, biking. And I saw him right after Christmas, and he had completed his 100, and I says overachiever, so he's on to his second 100 miles while they're there. We've had people that are doing like food challenges, and Christmas had the rough out. Rough out is in reference to Neil,
yes,
who tried to start and had the rough out. And Mitzi was also doing something food related, and she sent me a message yesterday to say rough out ends, so she's back on track.
I had none of that. I was not going to be so smart. Food, Christmas, Antiguan, they all took a holiday, right? That's what rough out means.
Well, rough out means that you just fell off. So rough out. So yeah,
fell
the
off
holiday,
the challenge.
You fell off. So people are trying to get back on. But I think we've had like a fair bit of people doing that. I think a lot of it has been like, you know, food and exercise and health related.
So
actually,
Valerie Gonzalez,
she's reading.
She's
reading one
trying
day.
to, yes.
I should have tried that one.
Yeah, so I mean, and it's nice, you know, it's just a bit that you just get up and you think about it and you understand all the things that they're giving up and me and out there, and it's just another way to stay in solidarity with the team. I assure you, you know, in years to come, we'll be talking about what they did, and then there'll be someone else who'll try to go and do something and conquer some new frontier.
Next thing we hear about Mount
But
Everest. Has
this
anyone
is-
Antiguan climbed Mount Everest yet?
But I think this is just such it's a good thing. It's a good thing of where we are and what we're going to do. So yeah, we want to encourage everyone. Keep doing your challenge in solidarity. Keep following the team. Keep sending them your love. But also, please, 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 we need your dollars. We need dollars for support.
The other suggestion I had, this was a friend of mine who gave this to me, because I actually have some other monies to deposit. Leslie and Andrew, Jerry, a whole set of them have been paying me, donating for when I up my push-ups game. By the way, folks, we're almost out of time, but I have to say this. I thought when Kavinia challenged me to the push-ups on the show, I thought, you would feel the pain across here and in your hands and so on. I have muscles in my back that are being activated because I'm doing push-ups. How is that possible? And my stomach...
Ask Kavinia when she gets back.
I have some serious questions. And I know it's these push-ups that are... But,
Well, to do push-ups, if it's in your back, but I know in your stomach, you need to pull...
Wrong.
You need to pull your core in when you're doing push-ups, so you feel in the
I'm
abdomen.
feeling it there.
Yes.
And then, I don't know. At first, I thought I was doing it wrong, so I asked the trainer. He's like, no. If you're doing them consistently over time, yes, they're going to start pulling other things together. Them hard.
Very hard.
Them hard.
That's why I told you could do some knee ones. And you can also do, for persons who don't want to get down on the ground, you can do wall push-ups too, you know.
The wall push-ups are easy.
Okay.
Those I like.
It's a start.
So you can double it. If you're doing wall push-ups and you
then
think
you
they're
do
easy.
wall and knees, and then you move to the full push-ups.
The full push-up. Petra, before we go, I want to say, because still at this point, it takes money to do this. We know it took approximately $150,000 US to get to the starting line, and we still have to say thank you to the sponsors, the Hadid group of companies, which were the first sponsors and the major sponsors, Gold Plus. We have gold sponsors in the Citizenship by Investment Unit. We have Jumbi Bay Fund, and we also have Intertops. We have in the Silver Plus State Insurance Corporation, and we have Kennedy's Club. And I'm telling you something about that. I think at the end we're going to find that they would have jumped categories because they're well on their way to being Gold Plus sponsors, because every shortfall, whether that's in clearing things, shipping, we've been able to go to them. We have had as well great support from the Halo Foundation, Lady Williams, and there have been lots of other cash-in-kind individuals that we'll get to. But we just really want to say that at this point, these are the individuals and organizations who have put the cash and
Who have given dollars for
who have given
encouragement.
dollars for encouragement. And we've had a lot of awesome people who have given up their time.
Mhm.
I mean, that list is really long, and we'll post that in other places. I just want to say, though, today to G Productions, Gamal Goodwin. I mean, Gamal is just days from getting married, and no matter what you send it, no matter what time I send it, my pleasure, I'll work on it. He responds, he sends
Jamal,
it
I'm
right
sorry.
back.
I'm responsible for a few of those. I'm so
And
sorry. I'm not going to send anymore.
he's done this. He built the website and doing all of that. That was a contribution. Maintaining it, everything. That's straight out of his pocket and of his time. And it's been from day one, and it continues every day. We send him something, he tweaks it, and he responds instantly.
Like you said, the team has been able to pull out the best of so many of us across Antigua and Barbuda and to bring a unity. You know, what I like about sports, I'm going to tie it back in. Every time you think Antigua is about to go AWOL, some sports, something happens. And it just brings us all back to remember, you know, I proud to be an Antiguan kind of stuff. And on that note is where I'd want to end today's program. Of course, thanking Mommy Clashing to come in on this afternoon.
You're
And of
welcome.
course, Mikhail, thank you for being here with me. I thought it was important to start our new year on We're the Ones with an update on the ladies. Folks, remember, you can go out and get your shirt. I need a medium. $135 is what we are all going to pay to get these shirts and wear them proudly. When they come in, they should just see a sea of Team Antigua Island Girls shirts with that flag on it. Those of you who are doing your challenges, you can convert them into getting your friends to top you up as you do your challenge, and then in turn you top that money into the fund. Remember, we want some boxes so that folks can go out. Maybe we can get different social groups and community groups to pick a day, do a spot for 2 hours and get people, because you know, people will sometimes may want to give, but they can't get to CUP or they don't want this. So let's not give anybody an excuse and get it right in their faces so that they can give. And on that note, what we want to just tell our girls, well, first of all, we want to wish all the people on the sea in this adventure, we have our very best wishes. Send them wind, which they need so that they can row and come in to us. But in particular, we want to have our girls who are rowing for hope, rowing for those young women so that they can have a future, a real future, and for the family who's hosting them to have it a little easier in terms of the challenges to do that project. We just want to wish them Godspeed, the winds that they want, no hurricane for that song, and just row and come home to us. I know we will be out there. I'm going to camp out for the night before, and because last time I almost did not get to see anything, so this time I camping out. Or maybe I just go on the water. You never know. But on that note, I want to thank everyone for tuning into We're the Ones, first edition for 2019. We look forward to having very interesting programs and dialogues with our community, just sharing about what's happening with us as a people. Of course, I expect to only do maybe 2 more programs where we're going to talk about the girls underwater and then probably bring them in after they've rested. I won't be rushing them. After they're well rested and relaxed, we can talk to them again. And I know just before you guys came in, even before Joy, we were talking about another initiative for young people where there is a composers competition where they're actually now going to be having a program where they'll be training young Antiguans and Barbudans who are into music to compose. Right? That's a new initiative that is happening. So our young people are just doing things all over and great things. So on that note, I want to thank you very much for being with us. Audience, you've been a wonderful audience as usual. Thank you for all the messages. And remember, you can watch the replay on Point FM or on Petra Williams' Spectator page. Good evening, and this is We're the Ones signing out. Thank you very much.
Where we can find all the appliances we need at the most affordable cost at Dynamic L&L Enterprises. They offer a wide range of stoves, microwaves, cellular phones, televisions, and toaster oven. They even have generators for the hurricane season and so much more.
That sounds great. We should give them a call. Oh wait, remember we're supposed to be having a barbecue this weekend.
No worries, my dear. They offer grill rentals as well. The number to call, 1-268-734-7994 or WhatsApp us at 717-8090 and check us out on Facebook at Dynamic L&L.